Hi, my name is Merryl from Merryls Mosaics and Glass Studio. Thank you for buying your mosaic kit from us. We hope you're going to have lots of fun. You will have received a box with your design. Today we're going to be using a penguin as an example, but you're going to have your template. Inside your kit you will have a template, penguin, instructions, which you only need to follow if you don't watch the video. Cutters for cutting your glass tiles, details for your penguin, which in this case is eyes and a nose, glue, cotton tips to spread your glue, and then when we grout, we've got grout, a spatula to spread your grout, gloves, and some cleaning tools. Okay, so we are working with real glass, so just a few safety considerations. When you're cutting your pieces, I want you to cut them into your container. If you're going to get cut, you usually get cut from little shards that fall on the table. If you cut them straight into your container, that's not going to happen. Secondly, when you clean up your table, rather clean up with a little sweep, whatever it's called, rather than using your hands. Okay, so clean up your glass like that, rather than like that. And lastly, if you ordered goggles, wear your goggles, and if you didn't order goggles, then wear some glasses at home or follow the instructions that I'm going to tell you when you're cutting your glass. Okay, so the first thing we have to think about is our design. This is an example of an ungrouted but finished penguin. I'm going to turn him around. Okay, so you'll notice that his body is white. He's got black around, yellow feet, yellow beak, black eyes. So we have got enough glass in your pack to follow that example. So stick with it because otherwise you're going to run out of glass. Okay, so I'm going to show you now how to cut your pieces. And basically you need to cut your pieces in one of three different ways, and so that's all I'm going to show you. In this particular design, it's almost entirely one way, but I'm going to show all three ways in case you want to have some variety. Okay, so first of all, you hold your cutters with the little wheels facing inwards. If you're left-handed, little wheels facing inwards. The wheels do the cutting. Okay, you take a piece of glass, a square piece of glass, and if you want to cut a straight line, you hold the little wheels in the center of the glass. It can be anywhere in that area, and when you think you're ready, you squeeze. Now, if you haven't got glasses, what you can do is take a piece of glass, put the cutters in the center, use one hand to cut and the other hand on top of the glass, because then the glass will definitely fall down. If you do have glasses, you can cut the way that I'm cutting. Okay, now to get little pieces, the best way to go is through the center. So I'm going to cut one piece through the center, pick it up again, cut it in half, pick it up again, cut it in half, until it's really as small as I want it to be. So that's really tiny. Don't need it that small for this design, but generally that's quite a good size. To cut triangles, you're going to take your square, hold it like a diamond, and cut through the center so that you get two triangles. Then you're going to turn that around and cut it down in half, and that's sometimes too big too, so you're going to cut that down in half again, so that you end with 8 little triangles out of one square. Let me show you that again. You're going to take a square, you're going to cut it like a diamond, you're going to turn it around, cut it in half again, and then half again, so that you've got 8 little squares out of your big one. The last shape that's going to be useful for you is to take a square and to cut a bad triangle. So if you don't get a perfect triangle, well good, you've got another shape that we need. Instead of going right through the center, I'm twisting it a little bit. Instead of going right through the center, I'm twisting it a little bit, and I'm cutting it so that it's kind of a bad triangle. That's a good shape. It's a useful shape. I'm going to turn that around and cut that in half, and I'm going to take the other one and to cut that in half. So now I've got 4 random little shapes. Good shapes to have. Okay, now to our design. For the penguin, we need to have black glass for the outside, white for the body, yellow glass for the feet, 2 eyes and a nose, okay, or beak. We will have supplied in your kit enough of all of those colors, so stay with the design in this case, because otherwise you're going to run out of glass. Okay, so to begin, we usually put in our details first. So in this case, our eyes and our beak. So you're going to open your glue, use your cotton tips for spreading. And put only a little bit of glue. The glue will dry clear, but excess glue can be a problem, especially when you grout. If you've got too much glue, you're not going to be able to grout properly. We're going to stick on the eyes and the beak first, and whatever details your kit comes with. Don't use too much. That was enough, that was fine. Okay, so now we're going to work from the outside in on whatever section we've chosen. So one section will be the whole white body, one section is the feet, and one section is the surround. Now penguin, this part is a little bit more difficult than the body, so let's begin with the body. I'm going to work from the outside of the section and work my way inside the section. Okay, so I'm going to put enough glue for about 7 or 8 pieces at a time. I'm spreading the glue. And I'm going to take real care to do 2 things. Firstly, I want the pieces to go right on the edge but not over the edge. So there's piece number 1 on the edge. Now I want the next piece to be next to that piece, must have a straight edge, and it's going to fit a bit like a puzzle. So I like to have quite a lot of pieces there so that I can just choose my pieces. So I do like to first cut up all my tiles. That'll be easier for you as you go. Piece number 2. I'm putting it back to back with the first piece. Notice that? Just a little space in between, about 2 millimeters or so. So the next piece I want to try and find is a triangle shape because it's going to fit nicely in there. So because I've got a lot of pieces, I can just look in my container and find a piece that I expect to fit. And so I'm going to go on around the entire piece until it looks something like this. Okay, so I've done that section, and just to demonstrate, I'm just showing you this section. So notice how we've got a really good edge going all around here. And I have put some little square pieces here because it just makes sense. So when we're working over there, we'll put some little square ones too. So I'll take some square pieces that will be cut. You could use your triangles, but it's not going to look as neat. And we're just going to go all the way down there as well. So you're going to complete the entire white section, the entire black section, and the entire yellow section going from the outside in as well, so that it ultimately looks like that. Okay, we're at the last part of the process, which I actually find the most fun. So you've got some grout. In this case, we've just got white grout. Some designs use different colored grout. If you've got a black grout, it's very messy, and you definitely want to wear gloves, and you're going to spend about 3 times the amount of time cleaning. Sometimes you're going to get some grout with a little small container of grout oxide, which is just colored grout. Pour it into the grout and then do exactly what I'm doing now. So you want to add your water really slowly. I've put gloves on. You don't really have to wear gloves, but it's a little bit more comfortable on your hands, and if you're wearing black grout, your hands get really dirty. I'm starting only with a little water because I don't want to put too much water. If I've got too much water, I'm in a bit of trouble because you haven't got any more grout to add. So start with too little water, maybe 5 or 6 tablespoons, rather than pouring in too much. I'm going to mix it slowly. If you mix it slowly, it's not going to splash on you. And you're going to mix it until it becomes creamy. I usually tell people a little runnier than toothpaste. So I'm going to add a little bit more water now, just a little. And this is going to be a nice consistency. Mix it properly, especially underneath. Okay, this is good. Good consistency of grout. And I'm ready to go. So the goal of the grout is to get it into the little piece of glass, so that instead of having 100 fractured pieces of glass, you have one complete mosaic. And in order to get it there, you just put it all over the whole piece to start, and then you push it into the spaces. So I'm just going to plop it on and start squishing it into the spaces. So if your glue is nice and dry, you can put a bit of pressure when you're grouting, but if you have only waited a short time, like 20 or 30 minutes, do this quite gently because you don't want to pull up any loose pieces. And you're going to keep on continuing until you've covered the whole piece. And I'm going to keep on cleaning the piece now. I'm going to pare back, take some grout off, just put it back into my container until it's quite thin and even. Just means less work when it comes to finishing it off. Okay, this is pretty good to go. So now we're going to take it to the last stage, and that is we're going to dry it. So you can air dry it for about 40 minutes, or you can blow dry it to speed it up. And if you're going to blow dry it, you would blow dry it for 2 to 3 minutes and give it a touch test. Right now, if I touch this piece, I'm going to get white grout on my fingers or on my gloves. When it's dry, that won't happen. So just blow dry it all over for 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, so I've been blow drying for about 2 to 3 minutes, and this is good to move forward. So with some paper towel, I'm going to scrunch them up, and I'm going to do a round and round motion. And the reason that I do that is that if I am too forceful like that, I might push off a piece. Round and round motion, that's not going to happen. And I'm going to start to clean my piece up. I'm not too worried about the edges because I'm going to take that off later. If you're using a different color grout, especially black, you want to change your paper towel every now and again. But this is doing fine for me, so I'm not. See, it's releasing very nice and easily, and that's because I didn't dry it too long. If you have dried your piece too long, don't worry. All you need to do is take a new piece of paper towel, put a little bit of water on the paper towel, just a little, and just go all over the piece again, and that will loosen up the pieces. Then take a dry piece of paper towel after that and continue. Now if you're using black grout, you want to keep on changing paper towels and keep on cleaning until it's clean. It takes about 3 times the amount of time to clean a dark colored piece. Okay, now this is pretty good. I'm quite happy with it. It's about 95% done, and that's good. So I'm going to clean up the edges now with my skewer. It's easier to turn over your piece to clean up the edges because you can see immediately where you've got excess. And I'm just going to go all the way around, get rid of the excess. Okay, and then I'm going to finish off my piece with a new paper towel and just shine it up until I'm happy with it. Sometimes, especially if you're using mirror, it's difficult to get it perfectly clean on day 1. On day 2, take a new piece of paper towel and just give it another shine, and all the dust will come off. And there she is. So thank you very much for purchasing one of our kits. We hope you've had a lot of fun. Please share your images. We'd love to see them going around. We'd love to have some examples too if you care to share them with us too. Thank you very much.